Journey. Greetings! So update 2 brought in female prisoners, and as such we planned accordingly for our next build. At the bottom left we have, I guess it's like family cells and such, and that's what these are. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 cells in total, with a nursery in the middle. People have already mentioned in the previous episode's comments that if we wanted to we could probably expand it like so, make it a little bit bigger, and I think that's probably what we'll do, but we'll have to see how it goes. We've also got death row as well, and as some people said, it's a bit extreme. You know, why are we getting death row as well as nursery? Well, it's, you know, it's the whole scared straight thing. We're going for pretty much the opposite end of the scales here. So I'm going to move this just so it's a straight entrance there, as you can see. We have individual cells in these this big block here. We've got some cells in the centre which are slightly better quality than the other ones. That's okay. We've also got the standard cells as well. Now, I'm not too sure, because a lot of people have mentioned this and asked what we're going to do in terms of capacity. Are we going to put bunk beds in each one of these? Well, I'm not sure. I'll have to work that out depending on how much we get once I've done at least one cell block. We can see how many we've got. We do have a very large kitchen and canteen, so certainly we'll be able to feed all the prisoners if we did manage to, say, put the bunk beds in each of these cells, but we'll have to see how it goes. I might have, say, one row, like this top row, as bunk beds, and the bottom row not, because obviously if you've got more than one person in a cell, then they can cooperate better and then dig and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, let's just crack on with some building. We're going to go to materials and then to our fencing, and then we're going to run a fence all the way around the prison. So starting here, all the way around. Obviously, we're not going to be getting any prisoners for this or probably the next episode. What we're going to be doing is just building up the basics of the prison like we do most of the time. So we need to put a wall around the outside. We need to get pretty much what it says there: basic detention center, administration center, things like that. I know there's a lot of people saying what we should do is put the officers across the road, across here, and also have it as a kennel and armory, things like that. Now, I've never really gone for that sort of thing. You know, they always say the logic that people use, and it's, you know, you could argue that this is actually the case, is that let me just speed up to max speed. Obviously, is that if you have the officers and things inside the prison, then that is easier it's easier for the prisoners to come and do bad things to them staff members. Also, if you have an armory, then they could take that over easier, blah blah blah. But my thoughts have mostly been, well, yes, that is true, but if you just put your armory in the middle of nowhere, then that's a pretty stupid thing to do in the first place, so you tend to avoid it. I've got mine behind a room where normal prisoners can't get to this area, and then if they do get to this area, they then have to go through a security room anyway to then get to the staff room, and then the dogs are nearest, so any dogs in there will be able to help defend it. So that's quite a secure area. If the prisoners get to a point where they can get inside that and they've already taken that over, it's pretty much lost as a prison anyway. Also, if you put it outside, soon as the prisoners get there, most of them will not go and run to the armory, they will just run and escape. So, you know what, it doesn't really matter that much. Either way, I totally understand what people are saying. But I just wanted to cover that. A couple of other changes as well. We do have a fairly large, in fact, too large common room here. Now, what I'm going to do is measure probably, say, 7 down. Actually, we'll make it about 8. There we go. And this is going to be our... Well, we'll just have a little extra area, and we'll have an entrance, say, there. Is that about right? That is 8 from there. Let me just check this one. That is 8 as well. This is going to be our... I was going to say cleaning cupboard, but I don't mean cleaning cupboard. I mean the laundry. So we'll have laundry either side. Now, I could put entrances on this side, like that, but then that's going to cause a little bit of an issue. So what I might do is have the entrance, say, like that. That'll probably be a little bit better, and then it'll mean that they can come down and then inside this area here. I haven't yet decided where I'm going to put my entrance. Obviously, there's an entrance there and there's an entrance there. I was going to put another one around here, and I think I might put one there, say like that, and that should allow people to go inside and work. Oh, actually, what we'll do, we'll put it... No, that'll be fine. That'll be fine, because, well, I've got a door, then we'll have metal detectors. Yes, that'll be fine, and then obviously they can go inside and then sort that out. That's all good. Obviously, it also means we've got some metal detectors there, because if we put it here, for example, we wouldn't really be able to put metal detectors in. Now, yes, I know I could just put metal detectors like that, and they do go through the block, but I always like to have this sort of extra bit of wall, so it just makes it look a little bit more secure. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, Let's go back to the front. We're going to go to objects, and then we'll put large jail door in the front there, and that'll sort that one out. This, like I say, is a bit of a sort of walkway thing, so we'll put actually some fencing in up to about there, and then a little bit of fencing into there. Now, what I'm going to do is go for our administration centre first. So we're going to go to building. I've got brick, but I think we could go for concrete as well. We haven't done concrete in a while. No, building brick. I think we'll go for building brick. So we're going to put this in. This is going to be where we have our warden and things like that, so we need to put in some sort of... We could put normal doors in, but staff doors will be fine. So we'll put staff door in there, staff door in there, and to be honest with you, I've got enough money. It doesn't cost a great deal just to finish that off, so I'll put enough staff doors in like so, and then once they've built this, I'll then put some internal walls in. Now, obviously, we need some power for the facility, but we'll get on with that in just one moment, so we'll just finish off that. There we are, and we've got lighting enough for the entire job. So we'll go to rooms, and then we'll go to our office, and we'll clicky, draggy, and we'll only do the one just for now. But when we furnish this with office desk, we'll put office desks in, I think, 3 of them for now. How much will it cost? It won't cost a great deal to finish all of the offices off, so we'll do the lot, because then obviously we won't have to come back to them, and it means if we forget, blah, 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 blah. So we need to go back down to the bottom. See, if you designate just the one, you do get the highlighted bits on the objects menu, so that's something I recommend you do. Highlight one, even if you're not going to designate them. And the reason you wouldn't designate them is then people tend to think then, or the staff think, oh, I'm going to go to this one, and then it's not furnished. But to be honest with you, because of the way we've done this, because we've actually furnished the lot, we could probably just go ahead and finish the rest of the assignments. Now, the only problem is that when you start hiring people, they might move along, and it'll be a bit of a pain. Either way, we're going to put a warden in there. There we are. Our female warden, we've also got, there we go, actually that's not the warden, maybe that's the warden's secretary or something. There we go. So that is our warden. We'll go to our bureaucracy tab, and we need to research, I think it was finance, wasn't it? Let's have a quick look. Yes, finance, and then hire an accountant, and then that'll give us our administration centre grant all done. We also need to build the basic detention centre, so I think we've got foundation, building, brick, and then we need to build this centre section. Now, this is going to be a fair lump of buildings, so let's crack on with it. 46 grand, and I think it's going to cost at least 20 odd grand. Oh my good grief, it's going to cost us a lot, actually, isn't it? It's going to cost us 35 for that bit, plus a little bit of change. Well, we need to build it all at the end of the day, so we might as well get on with it. This might be a bit of a mistake. I can get extra grants because I'll be finished with one grant in a moment, but once we put the lighting in here, it's going to be very, very, very close to not being done, but we'll see how it goes. This obviously needs to be a building as well, but I can't really afford to build that just yet. This one is obviously where we're going to have power in the kitchen and the canteen, so it is worth doing this one in one go. We'll put a staff door in there as well, and the staff door will allow the staff to go in. Now, this will all be staff only. Don't know if I'm going to have prisoners working inside of the kitchen. If we do, then they're going to have to go through the canteen to get to it. We're not going to let them in this back bit. So anyway, it's going through. We got 68% on the finance through bureaucracy. That'll give us 5 grand once we're done that. In terms of prisoners, what we're going to get, I haven't yet decided. Again, by all means, go in the comments and drop what you think we should have. We are going to probably have a complete mixed risk prison, because I want to see, I want to get a good idea of exactly what the difference is between the male and female prisoners, especially when it comes to the type of crimes they commit and things like that. I have no idea what it is in real life or anything like that, but I want to see like a full sweep of the possible prisoners you can get, down to, maybe sort of white-collar crime mothers that come in, so we can, they're in their own individual selves, up to proper, like, hardcore murderers that are on death row. That's why we got the death row in, as well as this bit as well. And I know a couple of people said, oh, why are you going for death row? That doesn't seem right. Well, why is it not right? I mean, yes, you could argue whether death row is right in itself, but if you commit a crime, then it shouldn't matter what gender you are, and because you've committed the crime. In fact, the law is totally and utterly skewed in whole horrendous ways, favouring or biasing gender one way or the other, male or female. It's completely messed up in a lot of areas, and you can research that yourself, I'm sure, but we're not going to go into that bit of a heavy topic for, at the end of the day, something that we just want to try out. So either way, we've got our administration centre all sorted. We'll go to staffing, and then we'll hire 1 unit of accountant. There we go. And they obviously don't want to be near the warden because they've gone up the top there. So that's one of our grants done. We're going to go to bureaucracy here. Then we'll go for an extra grant, which costs us 500. We've got 12 grand there, more than enough to crack on what we really want. We've got storage already put in. Now, I could section that off, and I think it's probably a good idea, and pretty sure someone did mention it before. Health and well-being will give us 25 grand. That's not too bad. We could go for something else, but I think that'll do us for now. Let's just go to rooms, and we just want to cancel off that top bit of room there, just so we can go to our materials and then to brick wall. Put a brick wall in there and there. Again, brick wall all around this bit. The reason we want to do that is because we need to section off this internal side, this internal power bit. Now, obviously, there's 2 power blocks. The reason we want that is because one of them will go along and then down and power all this, and then one will go up and power that. I don't know how we're going to power the kitchen and the death row, but we'll see how it goes. So, what do we need to do? Doors. Let's go to staff doors. We can put doors on there and there. Cost 100 each, so it's a little bit expensive, but we have to crack on with it at some point, so we might as well do it now. We'll go back to materials, brick wall. Brick wall straight up and across. This room was going to be our something. What was that room going to be? I can't remember. It wasn't going to be common room because the common room, it was these 2 common rooms and it's miles out the way. I do not know what that room was going to be. That was going to be the staff room, so it's not that. I cannot remember for the life of me at the moment what that room was going to be, so I'll worry about that later on. I'm sure people have, maybe yourself, have gone, "It's this, you idiot!" But yeah, it's been at least 3 days since I last did the other video, so you know. I say last 3 days. No, it's 2 days. 1 day. 2 days, yes. Don't even know what day it is. Right, okay, capacitors. Let's shove them in. There we go. We're not going to put too much because obviously we can't really afford to do this. We'll get our electrical cable put in. We'll run some electrical cable. Now, we're going to have to work this out. What we're going to do in terms of power. How we're going to power this thing. Well, we've put this one in because it makes a bit of sense. If we do that, there we go, there's all that powered up. What happens is we need to power, let's work it out. So if power goes to there, then power goes to center. What we're going to use that one for? Well, that one ideally would power all of this and then the top bit, which is probably what we'll do. So these officers are going to do without power for quite some time. Okay, we don't actually need to power anything up just yet anyway, so I'm not really going to bother. We have hopefully got extra grant, which we have. That's good. We do want to research bank loan because that's always a good one, and we want to start researching health as well. So there we are. Let's just go to our rooms and then to our kitchen. We're going to designate all that as kitchen. As people have already mentioned, and I think I mentioned earlier, that is actually too big as a kitchen, but it's fine. I'd rather overdo it than underdo it. And remember, we've got so much sort of, not spare space, but because we're on a medium-sized map, I don't have to be as tight as I normally am when it comes to the spacing of this one. Yes, we could get more prisoners, but then at the end of the day, it's not about how much capacity we can get. It's about making an interesting prison, and I think this is quite interesting. It being, you know, a full, broad mix of prisoners and things like that. So it should be an interesting one. Let's go for brick wall, and we'll shove these in here. There we are. We'll come down to the bottom and put them in. Okay. And then we'll also sort out the bits down the bottom left. Obviously, the bottom left and the top left. These bits are going to be our toilets, which I know for whatever reason some people commented that we could change them around and have them as I think it was psychologist office, and I didn't really understand the reason for it. I think it was just because I could, really. Anyway, let's go for a bit of planning first. We need to go to objects, and we'll pull all this objects down. Now, what I want to measure out is, say, 15 from there, 15 from there, which means I now know where the rough center is. So that is the rough center. We could have a double door on that one there. I think double door would work out. And normally I only put single doors on the kitchen because you need to let you need the workers to go in and out quickly. But I think, was that going to be security? I really can't remember. Yes, I think the idea was that we normally have a standard door on there, but it doesn't make sense if we're going to have automatic door openers, which is what we're going to do, so we might as well leave it. Let's just go to our kitchen, and obviously we're going to try and be as a little bit stingy as we can be. I don't want to spend too much because I'm just trying to get this basic detention center grand up and running. So for most of this, we don't really need to worry about it. So the cooker can go there. Hang on, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll put one cooker there, then that'll be 8, that'll be 16 cookers in total, more than enough for our capacity of the prison. So it means the fridge can just go there, and then our sink can go up there. And the reason the sink's going up the top rather than down the bottom, eventually we are going to have it down the bottom as well. But what I want is to just run a small pipe like this. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll run a large pipe, because I'm going to need to run a large pipe down and out at some point, but I think it's going to be running along there. So, you know what? Yeah, just a small pipe would be fine. We'll run it up to there and then along. And is that person stuck? That person is definitely stuck in that solitary confinement. So we'll sort that out. We'll put a large jail door in there just to fix them, and there we go. Because they're probably freaking out a little bit. Okay, so that is now powered up, watered up. This isn't powered up. Doesn't matter though. It is now a proper room. We need 2 cooks, 2 guards. We need a shower, and we need a holding cell. Holding cells being these 2 here. Again, people have said that we don't need these ones. We could have actually done something a lot smaller, or we don't really need the 2 of them. You are correct, but it just, for the sake of symmetry, there's no other reason for it, to be honest with you, other than because we can. Let's just put a large jail door in the front there. We'll put a large door in, well, actually a couple of people said that way, but I don't really want that. I want it so you get out this way. So, but we'll put the entrance, we'll put one of them there, we'll put that one there so you can get in and out, and we'll put that one in there, so we'll not put it there instead. Okay, so we'll brick wall that off. There we go. Obviously, we need to go to our rooms again. Holding cell and clicky, clicky, draggy, draggy. And then we need to put in things like toilets and such. So the toilets can go at the bottom if we really wanted to. 1, 2, 3. I think 3 toilets in the bottom is more than enough. Obviously, we can also put some doors in and things like that and section them off. I will do that at some point, but I'm really just trying to get this thing working. And at the moment, I'm trying to save a bit of cash. So we're going to put them in like so. There's enough for the holding cell. That's sorted. Obviously, 2 benches, but the benches cost 30, so it's no real problem there. Right, so that is the holding cell. We just need to shower, 2 cooks, 2 guards. So what can we do? Well, a shower, we need to build all of this, which is, as you can see, a fair lump of building, and we don't have nowhere near enough money to get that done. We do have enough money to go for probably a staff wellbeing initiative, which is quite easy. Build a staff room, have at least 5 guards assigned to duties, ensure that no staff are exhausted. Again, that's quite easy to do. Short-term investment is good, but it's going to cost us 5 grand, which will actually put us into the minus, so we don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is a little bit of a cheat. There's actually another page. That's quite good, so we're going to close all that. There we go. What I'm going to do instead is go to rooms and then to shower and then clicky, clicky, draggy, draggy. This is now a shower. It needs a shower head in there, which is simply going to be that. There we are. And then what we're going to do is go to staff. I'm going to hire 2 guards, 1, 2, and then 2 cooks, 1, 2. And then what I'm going to do is actually go to our regime and then change everything to free time, because then I don't want them to cook. Actually, I don't think the cook, if there's no prisoners in the facility, I don't think they'd do that at all. But either way, just to make sure we've done that as well. Programs, we're not running anything at the moment. We can't change our policy. We'll have to mess around with that later on. There we go. So only the shower to do, and then that'll give us 10 grand for basic detention center. Then what I'll do as well, while they're cracking on with that, is go to foundations, building brick, and then we will actually make a slightly larger building than what I originally planned. No, we won't, because I don't have enough money, so I'll wait until that's done. There we go. Now I'll put this in. This obviously requires 1 unit of entrance, which should be quite easy to do. I could have put that on the edge there and connected up to that side, but no, I like the idea of it being a separate building for whatever reason, just because these are separate as well. We'll put a staff door in that side about there. Yeah, that'll do. That'll be fine. And then this will be our staff room. So we've got 9 grand. Obviously, we need to get a couple more grants here. So I think I'm going to go for cell block A, because that's a big chunk of change there, big chunk of cashage, generic credits, and then we'll go for also, I think, a little bit of the old staff wellbeing initiative, because then it means once this building is done, we can just go to rooms and then to our staff room, and then I'm going to hold it there. And once it's built, it will be designated rated. Come on, do you want to crack on with that? Put the door in, please. That'll be most good. Nice sip of beverage there. Milk. And come on. Come on. In your own time. Going away in June. Job done. Okay, there's the staff orator room, and then we can put in things like a wide sofa and drinks machine is all we really need. Here's the drinks machine. So we're going to put drinks machine in there, and then a large sofa, or wide sofa rather. We'll put it in the bottom bit there. Okay, and again, we'll mess around with that staff room later. That's just to fill the requirements of that one. We do have a total of 2 guards. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 more guards, so that'll basically be that staff room completed. That'll be staff wellbeing initiative, and then that'll give us another 10 grandage. Obviously, we spent a little bit on that, so we're probably at a net profit of about 3,000, because we hired 3 guards. That's 1,100. Sorry, 1,500 plus the building of the room, probably another grand, a little bit of change in there, 500. Yeah, we've got a little bit of net profit of about 700, I reckon. Yeah, something like that. Either way, money, money, money. There we go. So we've got another grand to do as well. So we can go for short-term investment, long-term investment. Probably best to go for a short-term because we need to crack on with that one. So we'll go to our building once more, and we need to build this area here. So obviously our very, very, very big cell block. Our first one is raise our prisoner capacity to 15. So I think what we'll do is go bump like that, and that'll be 18 grandage to do that one. And how much would this be to do that? To get this bit done would cost quite a bit of money, so I'm not going to bother doing that just yet. I'm going to build this cell block. So we'll go to our objects and large jail door, so that in that side there, that's just to actually get the thing built and speed up to max speed. There we are. Obviously, you've noticed that I have not yet... oh, that's dismount. Let's dump that, please. At least you can actually cancel the dump order now, which is a good thing. You've noticed I haven't actually hired any more workmen. The reason is I don't need to. I can just wait for it. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Right, okay, so I've dismantled the shower head and everything else in there because we don't need that at all. A couple of people have mentioned about the exports, the fact that we haven't got one. Well, no, we're not going to have one. I know a lot of people have said that we can also shrink down this area, which is our common room, and shrink it down and make it into a bit of a workshop. No, I'm not really too bothered about that one. I don't think we're going to do that. Although I'm very interested to see if there's a big difference between male and female prisoners in terms of the jobs that they would require. You would assume, and perhaps wrongly of me, that the male jobs tend to be more like physical, like they want to work in the workshop, things like that. But I really just don't know. I don't know how that works in the game or anything like that. But, you know, that might be just a very, very wrong assumption of me. But either way, it'd be nice to look at it. But I guess I haven't really looked in to see how many. It seems to be a bit random anyway, like what jobs people take. It's actually based on their rating in terms of low, medium, or high risk. So it's more the risk rating than anything else. Anyway, at least that's what it seems to be. Let's just put in the cells up the top here. There we go. Now, I have a bit of a plan. I did say originally these could be these could be bunk rooms, but I'm not sure. What I'm going to do is go to light, though, and put lights in, because obviously we are removing a lot of lights. Actually, that'll overlight it if I do that, so I'm not going to bother doing too much. I'll put some lights in, like so. Basically, any light that's been removed, I'll put back in, even though I've just put another one. Anyway, right, there's that. So cells. And clicky, clicky, draggy, draggy. There we go. Might as well put another little large jail door on that side there. And while we're at it, we will put a brick wall there. A couple of people have said there's a bit of a dead space here. What we're going to be doing is put like phone booths across there. Just seems to make sense. So there's that all put in. So these cells do require either surrounded by walls and doors, beds and toilets. So bunk beds. Couple bunk beds in the top. I think we're going to put bunk beds in. So that's going to be how much are beds? 200 each. These are actually a grand or 500 each. So there's a lot of money getting spent here. So I think what we'll do is do the full top row. Okay. Toilets go in as well. There we go. And then jail door. And that should be quite high capacity. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Well, we need 15, so we're going to beat it. There we are. Might as well got utilities, large pipe. Start running some large pipe around. So we're going to run it down, across, down, right across. Like so. Insufficient funds. We're not going to run it that far because we don't have enough money. There we go. Okay, that should be sorted anyway because these are going to be done. Speed up. I was going to say speed up to max speed, but it is there. These require beds. Ah, okay. So we must have these as dormitories. Then I'm guessing. Yeah, they'll be dormitories. Okay. It seems that cells you can't have them in. You can't have bunk beds in cells. It has to be dormitories, which is weird. Dormitory, variable size room for housing multiple prisoners. The bigger the dormitory, the more prisoners it can house. Okay. Minimum size 2 by 3, which it is. which you would assume then if it's minimum size 2x3 you could have one bunk bed because it says bed stroke bunk bed. I think you need a total of, well, I've told, what was 3, 6, 7, 8, yes, 8 in total spaces, but that's not the case for this one, so it must be only 6 or something. Anyway, apparently I have not raised my capacity because these dormitories are not done. Raise it to 15. Why is it only 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That just makes no sense anyway. That goes to 9. That makes no sense. I fail to understand. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay. That is a prisoner capacity of... I'm guessing... Is it... I'm assuming then there is a minimum size, and it means that that is too small. That does not make sense. So these need to be 1 bigger. Is that basically what it's telling me? That all of these cells need to be 1 larger. That's a little annoying. Okay. What is the cheap solution to this problem? Because I'm guessing what it's doing is it's basically saying that that is not big enough for this area. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to demolish these walls here and do a little bit of a test, okay? It's probably saying that even though that's a bunk bed, and even though the minimum size for that room is indeed 2x3, a bunk bed, because it requires more space, it's not allowing me to, like, house any more people. 11. Right. 11 in there. Interesting. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I could, if I wanted to, demolish them walls and get that grant done. That could work out. But I don't think that's really what we want to do. I think it's going to call for redesign. That is very annoying because it does say minimum size 2x3 or 3x2, whatever. But it also says you need a bed or bunk bed. That's obviously telling me the minimum size for a bed, not the minimum size for a bunk bed. If it was in brackets and it told me what the bunk bed size was, that would be fantastic, thank you very much. But it doesn't. So what I'm going to have to do is pretty much redesign this entire top section. Because I've already bought the bunk beds, if these were just normal beds, we would be okay. I'd be able to, you know, I've got enough money to sort it out. But because I don't have enough money and I can't really do that, I think we're going to leave it there. Next episode, you'll see the result of whatever I'm going to do to try and fix this problem. But, by all means, comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings. This is going to be a fart on, isn't it?